Are you guys ready? I don't think they're ready. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this, cause my body's too bootylicious for you, baby. Hello, and welcome to Golden Hour Show. Alright, hey, this is video number 2.
Dose.
We're going to talk about it. So today we're going to be talking about
Social media obsession.
social media obsession. What's your favorite?
Comment. Oh, to me. Oh, I thought. Was this to them or to me?
Both. Comment below, but what's your favorite?
My favorite, I have to say Twitter, honestly. Because you just have the things you say on Twitter you can't say on like Facebook, which I really love. But it also has some meaningful stuff. People post like some real life, like quotes.
We actually had a good one. The content within the tweet was really inspirational and useful to our YouTube channel. It says, 27 plus Twitter, give young Twitter a constructive piece of financial advice that helped you over the years. Financial literacy and representation matters. And literally, this woman created a thread and people are commenting like with it.
We should probably say her at.
Yeah, at Damn Jazz Again. Hey girl, thank you for your tweet. I liked it and I saved it because we're going to talk about these things because they're things that I need to know and that other people need to know. That'll be another YouTube video. But my favorite is Twitter.
It's so funny because there's a different crowd for each.
Yeah, it's
like,
totally
the
different.
stuff you post for Snapchat, you would never post on like an Instagram story.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, the story is not ready.
How often do you use social media? For me, if I have like if I'm waking up to go to school or to my internship, that's not the first thing I check in the morning because I gotta get ready. But if it's like a day in, like I sleep in, that'll probably be the first thing I check because I love staying in bed. So it's like, But I do go on it every day. I can go without it. There was a time where I did go without. I think I stayed off for like a week or a couple of days. So I deleted the apps and all that. Like, I feel like with us, because no shade to like the 2000 plus babies, people born especially like 2004 plus. Technology is their thing, whereas us, it's something we grew into. It wasn't the first thing that was introduced to us when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because we still had to go outside and play with our friends. We still had Barbie dolls and car toys and all that. It wasn't tablets, like right now all I see is tablets on children, and it's like kind of upsetting because it's like parents are getting to the point where they don't have the time to like entertain their kids, so to shut them up, they're like, here's a tablet, play your little games, So I feel like for us, we can go without social media, but like, I don't know how it would be for people that were born into the technology realm.
I feel like our parents and parents before parents that parented our parents kind of let us do anything. Okay, not anything, but like, it was safer to go outside and play. Mm-hmm. You didn't really have to worry about certain things. I mean, valid, there were things to worry about, but I guess those parents weren't necessarily aware of all of the consequences and the terrible things and still had faith that you could send your kid outside to play with another kid in the neighborhood. I feel like that's kind of dwindling, and so people are trying to find ways of keeping their kid engaged in learning, so they give them these tablets to learn things, and then kids find other videos of random things they watch. I don't know. Even our generation, even though we grew into it, there are a good amount of us that have let it consume us. I know that we talk about it's the first thing that you check in the morning, but like even if it's not, like it's still something that you go on every day. The fact that you have to go and peek into people's lives every day just to see like what they're doing. And it's not necessarily because you care. Maybe it is. Maybe you only follow people you care about, you know. But you go on there to see what's happening, to feel like you're included and that you're involved. And you know what's going on.
So would you say like social media is, how does it affect us? Like in a good way or in a bad way?
Social media can be, it can affect you in both ways. I just wish times were simpler. I feel like we come from the age of technology, and there's no way of like introducing technology and actually like working out the kinks before you present it to the world, you know? They're just like, here's this new thing. Everybody jumps on the new thing. Everybody uses it, and then over time they have to like take certain things away. And I feel like we just get our hands on technology and on social media so quickly, and we just kind of do things, and then shit goes wrong, and then they fix it, and then some other shit goes wrong because we didn't just give it ample time to kind of breathe and figure its way out.
It's like how we utilize it, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like if I really appreciate Apple, sponsor us, for creating this little thing that everybody knows about by now because we're so late. But this screen time, this little feature, you can't see it. I'll show you another time. But, you know, downtime, app limits, you know, what content needs to be blocked, showing you how much you spend on social media. Like today, I'm doing pretty good today. I've only spent 14 minutes on social media. It's also pretty early in the morning. But the point is, I appreciate that because it really like keeps me on my toes about like, I'm not going to spend time on my social media starting at 11 p.m. Like I'm not, because I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get ready for bed, stay off the phone, sleep, and then it's not going to be the first thing I check in the morning. And I have it disabled until like 7 or 8.
Next question. What do you think the world would be like without social media? So like take it back to like,
oh damn,
before
I feel like it'd be
Facebook
fun
was a thing.
if social media didn't exist. And I think especially with me moving too, like social media, technology weren't a thing. I wouldn't be able to see my niece or my sister. I wouldn't be able to like be involved and like know what's happening. But I think it would kind of be cool because it would force you to like have real personable interactions. Like if you're going to have a phone call, you're going to call, you know what I mean? And you set up times and you figure it out. Or like writing letters and doing these things, like making sure that you go visit enough. I feel like with social media it kind of enables that, and you're like, oh well, like I saw you on social media, I don't really have to like reach out to you today, you know, like I can see that you're doing pretty okay. But I also think that the lives we lead on social media aren't always like the truest. I feel like we try to show like the fun things that are happening, not realizing that there are also downs, and we're not talking about those downs. Yeah, I think that without social media, more people would be outside and actually interacting with people. I kind of miss that. Like, an example, my best birthday was my last one, and I told my friends, this one included, that I wanted to do something that wasn't like going to a club and like not something that like is all involved and I'm just gonna show off to the world. And so I decided to have like a water fight, and it's like all my grown friends, like 21 plus, we're all like hanging out in Muhammad's backyard, throwing water balloons, having a water fight and like a barbecue cookout. It was just like fun. And no one was really on their phones because it was hot. It was the 4th of July. And we were just partying and like water having good fun. Literally, water was everywhere.
And we had like a water slide thing, so we put like
like a slip and slide. Yes, we did like fun kid things for adults, and it was like everybody had a great time, and they weren't focused on making sure everyone saw that they were having a good time. We were just like in it, and people like said it was one of the best summer things that they had going on, you know, because you know eventually going to the club is monotonous and doing these things, so like why not take it back to a time without social media and technology where you had to go outside and you had to find ways to like have fun. Yeah, what do you think the world would be like without social media?
I feel like and this kind of leads into the next question, but should I just lead into the next question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the next question, because my answer kind of relates, is does social media help/affect social change? I would say social media now, today, does affect social change because the power of just hitting a share button and how it can be shared within, you know, the whole world, which is kind of scary. But it's also a good thing because, like, people are being informed of what's going on in the world. But there are also a lot of distractions that come with that because something super important that's happening in another country will be distracted by a puppy, I don't know, like barking something that sounds like hello, you know? Like, which is, it's a good distraction, but it's like we gotta focus on the bigger picture and focus on like the real problems of this world. Like, what can we do as people? Because obviously I can't do nothing as one person, but what can we do as people to help make change?
I think that we're in a state of awareness. I think that all of our social media and all of the songs that we're creating are songs that are meant to like spread awareness and make people aware of the situations that we're encountering. There are actions being made, but we're not like, for some reason they're not sticking and they're not as big as they were previously. And I think it's because everything is so readily accessible. Because back in the day it was not as accessible. Like, you had to go out and get the paper. Somebody had to go to the riots and they had to go write about it. They had to go and like, you know what I mean? So like now everything is just so easily like spreadable that it kind of takes away from the actions. But like, people are actively trying to make things happen, you know what I mean? Whether that's on a small scale or like a huge scale. I think that we're just lacking in making things bigger. Like, people are now aware, but how do we make movements bigger to the point where people are traveling from all over the world, like kind of like the Women's March. Like, people traveled all like from around the world to make it to Washington D.C. for that first initial march, you know, and it was packed with women, with men that were supporting, and it was kind of what we were expecting to see from like all movements. We're just kind of in a day and age where we think that sharing is enough, or and this is valid too for young adults, is like, maybe we just don't know what to do. Like, maybe we think that, like, okay, we shared, but we're not sure how else we can create a change. I think that's kind of where we're at. I also think there are a lot of causes, a lot more than they had back then. So there's a lot of things to fight for, because there are a lot of things wrong. There's a lot of things that have been done that are really cruel to people, to races, to ethnicities, to religions, preferences. There's so many people that are now speaking up, and now there's so many things to fight for. And because there's so many things to fight for, it's kind of hard to be like, all right, how are we going to make them all important in now, you know?
Yeah. So, the last question to end this topic. Does social media distract us from the real world?
Ooh, yes and no. What do you think?
I say yes. Well, yes and no. Because I kind of mentioned this earlier with, like, the whole puppy video thing being a distraction from, like, serious things going on in the world. It is a great distraction for people who don't want to deal with real world problems, you know, because that's true. Like, this world is it's crazy, you know, and this stresses us out, like, gives us anxiety, you know, because of everything going on. So I feel like it is a great distraction for those that just don't want to deal with real world stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it does distract us from the real world, and that's kind of what we need. I also think that it's not a distraction because it also brings light. Like, a lot of times there are things that I've never heard of and didn't know about that I find out about through social media and someone sharing. Because there's literally so much news everywhere, and you're not going to watch every single piece of news. Like, I feel like that's impossible. Because if you just focus on the United States alone, there's so much news that you didn't hear about from 2 years ago that's been kind of like hiding away because it just wasn't brought to light. Yeah. You know, but then you still have other countries in the world that have plenty of things going on that I have no clue about. I barely know about America. Ooh, heavy talks, guys. Social media. What do you guys think? What do you feel? What do you want to tell us? Do you think that we're totally wrong? Let us know. If you want to cuss us out, please refrain from doing so.
Because we're sensitive.
So just like politely correct us if we're wrong. Totally open to criticisms.
Constructive.
Yeah, please don't be too harsh. I can't take it. My heart will like fall out of my chest. I'll poop it out.
Comment your suggestions, your opinions, suggestions for other topics.
Yeah. If you like us and you think we're cool, like the video, subscribe to us. We're trying.
Okay. Topic for next week.
Yeah, what are we talking about? We're talking about first jobs and the problems with them.
I'll put this in this little box here.
What do we do?
First job problems.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. See you next time.
Bye. What would you think the world would be like without social media? Sorry, can you hear? What? Next question. What? Because I'm like, what? Okay. There's a lot happening.
I know. That's the oldest old man cough I've ever had. That was terrible.